Well guys, this is it. The final video in this RedX review of Epic Proportions mini-series, Transformers Robots in Disguise, or I entitle it to be The Real Transformers Robots in Disguise. Rail Racer. At long last, we get to see this bad boy in action with the three trains, Midnight Express, Rapid Run, Rail Spike, or of course in their Japanese counterparts, J4, J5, and J7 combined into the phenomenal JRX or Rail Racer, whichever one you want to call them. So, this is it. No size comparisons. There's no reason to. I've already done that in both videos of Midnight Express, Rapid Run, and Rail Spike. If you haven't seen those yet, might I recommend you go check them out. That way you know what to expect in this review right here. So go ahead and stop the video. I'll give you time. And with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start off the transformation, simple enough, with Rail Spike, because he's probably the most difficult one of the whole entire crew. So, to go ahead and just take his gun off, like so, set it aside, and bring that out, split apart, lift this up so you can get some more clearance. Go ahead and pull this whole entire section up in front, like so. Same thing right here. Close that up again. Bring this down. Rotate this around. Go ahead and bring this panel out and push that out. Turn that like so. There's one side. Second verse, same as the first. Yeah, I said that. I went there. No regret. See? No regret. Alright. Now that we got that all said and done, split apart the front. There's the head. Lift it up. Close this back. And there you go. All said and done. Now to set him aside for a moment, I'm going to go ahead and get Rapid Run out of the way. Usually I save him for last, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how much of this comes to be. Not much, really, when it comes to Rapid Run. He's actually the middle section of JRX or Rail Racer, whichever one you want to call him. Flip this up. Flip that up. Let me fix the foot. There we go. There's that. I'm going to rotate it. Now for this section right here, going to bring this out. Bring this out. Now you're going to collapse it like so. And hopefully I'm doing this right. It's been a little time. Let's see. Let's see. See this right here? Push back. And it's not really easy to do this on camera, but I'm going to try anyway. This whole entire section is supposed to extend out like so. You see that? See how I pushed it down? That is very tight. And make sure that it pops, because if it doesn't, it's not completely in all the way. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. It's still incomplete. Bring that down. Flip that out. Rotate this down like so. It's going to create his thrusters for the back. See? And I like to push them up some so they're just out of the way. Gives more clearance. And there we go. There's Rapid Run's piece. And now for Midnight Express. Quite frankly, it's just like taking him into robot mode. You're going to split this apart like so. Then you're going to take this whole entire section and bring it down. Get this out of the way for clearance. Rotate this down. Lift this up. Rotate this down like so. Make sure his knees are all the way out. Trust me. Bring this down. Flip out the feet, bring down the heel spur, rotate it around, lift it up like so. Same thing on this side, kind of different due to transformation. Rotate this piece around. And that pretty much is that. Take this piece right here, which you can't see. Now you can. Bring this out, set it aside. Bring this piece down. Make sure it's not up, it's down, like so. And just coordinate everything. There we go. So bring all the pieces in. So as you can see, he's all set up and ready to go. Now the only thing I gotta do is adjust the camera because this behemoth is big. So what I like to do first is I actually like to take the top of Rail Spike and go ahead and combine him with Rapid Run. And it's kind of easy, it's a little tricky, but you gotta make sure this stays out completely, otherwise it won't attach correctly. Slide this in. It's a sliding function, and it's not easy to do, really. Alright, what happened was I didn't have this piece all the way out. Like I said, it's supposed to pop. If you don't hear a pop, make sure that you do hear a pop, because if you don't, the piece on Rapid Run is not completely in place, and it's just going to slide on you, and you won't be able to peg this in completely. Last but not least, you want to take the legs of Rail Racer. There's these two tabs right here. They're going to pop right in like so, or you know, easier said than done. Got both. Back here, this piece, there's a peg, there's a hole. It's going to peg in like so. Make sure it pops. Get everything adjusted to your liking. Lift up his head. And you can't even see this. I apologize. I had forgot how big this guy is. Woo, he's big. And there we kind of go. Yeah, there we go. Can you see him? Can you see him, huh? There he is. Rail Racer in full form. Look at that. True to form. Awesome. He's big. He's amazing. He's fully articulated. And he's nice looking. I mean, this is one of the best Transformers Railbot combiners that I've ever seen out of the whole entire Transformers genre. I mean, does it get any better than this? Is there actually a train set out there that combines into a fully big robot about this size that's better than Rail Racer? I think not. And I don't even count that third-party Nemesis Prime, Optimus Prime, Hearts of Steel. Is that what it's called? I can't think of it, but that's what it's incorporated on. Anyway, it's not important. I'm just getting away. You know, I'm stuttering. So, to combine the weapon, you want to take this piece, fold this up like so, peg it in just like that. I'm going to save that for last because I remember what happened last time. This piece right here folds up, folds up. It's going to combine right here. VI peg like so. Then I'm going to take this. I'll make sure it goes in the right way. Peg it in. There's a little handle piece right here. And this is kind of tricky, especially considering this figure is pretty old. Make sure to close Rail Racer's hand, like so. Give him a fist. Peg it in. And it's kind of loose, but it does stay in place very nicely at times. And last but not least, same thing over here. Close fist. Bring down the thumb so you don't break it. Make sure he stands in place. The shield. Flip out this piece. Flip this out. Flip this out. Take this handle piece. Fold it down like so. Peg it right in. And now he's locked and loaded. He's ready to go. And you know what? This figure may be old, but he can still hold some great poses. Even though he is a little wonky at the feet because they are kind of loose. But you know what? Who isn't? I mean, really. Does anybody actually have a Rail Racer figure out there that doesn't have loose feet? I think not. And he is a little top heavy if you think about it. I mean, look at all this back here. The back, the thrusters. I mean, he's even got this piece right here that's just putting on some weight. And then again, it's actually coordinating with the balance. I guess that's what's keeping him intact, not just because of these heel spurs. Even though they are long, they're not long enough to actually keep him in place. So he is kind of loose, and if you're not careful, he will tip over like so, see? I don't know how I'm really going to show this off, but I guess I could pick up the camera. Hopefully you can see that nice head sculpt. Look at that. That is just phenomenal. It is very nice. It is a very, very nice figure. And in the show, he was pretty fast. And if I'm not mistaken, he also took on Megatron in one episode in dragon form. So, I mean, that counts for something, right? One of the not prime Transformers, by that I mean main characters, actually took on the leader of the Decepticons, Predacons, etc. And speaking of which, for size comparisons, there you go. Well, Yeah, you can't see his face. There you go. Now you can see him. Megatron compared to Rail Racer. And if that's not good enough, one more for the heck of it. One more for the open road. There we go. Now that's a nice battle right there. Bruticus or Ruination, whichever one you want to call him, compared to Rail Racer. These two are almost the same size, even though, if you count this piece right here, Ruination is a tad taller, but then again, he's cheating. I mean, this isn't supposed to be here. You're supposed to push these down, but, you know, that's a review for another day. For another genre, actually. I'll explain later. So, I don't think there's really anything else that I can talk about besides the articulation. This is kind of loose. I think this gave finally. Oh, whatever. Anyhow, let me just go ahead and remove his weapons because they do have a tendency to fall out anyhow. Articulation is as the following. Hopefully you can see this. Ball jointed head, ball jointed neck, swivel shoulders, inward bicep. Look at that. That's kind of cool. It's also got a ball joint right here kind of, but it doesn't really move in and out unless you're swiveling the shoulder. It's got rotation at the elbow, 90-degree bend at the elbow. Fingers are articulated. Of course, they're not separately articulated. The thumb is articulated. No waist rotation, unfortunately, but you know what? I'm not blaming him. Legs, they got that nice ratchet joint. They go forward and back, in and out, and that's why, you know, that's the reason why Midnight Express suffers at the legs is because of Rail Racer, so now you know. If you didn't know, well, now you do know. It's got a 90-degree bend at the knee. Knee also swivels, which is nice. And the feet, well, I mean, they're pretty free moving. They're kind of like ball joints, but they're not. Pivot up and down as well. The heel spurs are actually movable as well. So yeah, he's fully loaded in articulation. Now, my only real complaint about this figure is, besides trying to get him into some great poses, because it is kind of tricky at times, is the fact that his skirts right here just tend to get in the way of everything. You notice how I'm messing around with these a lot during the review. They're just all over the place, and it really does hurt when you're trying to pose this figure because, like I said, they tend to get in the way, and sometimes they can knock the figure out of the right balance, and he'll tip over at times. It's happened a lot with me, unfortunately. So I'm just going to insert his weapons again, just for the heck of it. Oh, there is one more thing I forgot to mention. It still lights up, by the way. So yeah, the laser, see? Nice. It looks good in dark. Unfortunately, I don't have time to show that off. But yeah, he's fully articulated. Another issue, unfortunately, with this figure, with the panel lining and how this transforms into Rail Racer's arm and socket, it really scrapes up the windows. So that's a downer, but you know, that's unavoidable. There's nothing you can do about it. Actually, to be honest, this is actually one of the best Rail Racer figures that anybody's probably ever reviewed on YouTube, for one reason particular being that the knee joints are not giving. Now, that's one thing I've seen a lot on these figures. The knee joints always seem to give in the reviews, and as you can see, it is not happening with my Rail Racer. So even though he is a little hurt in the quality control, especially with how many years I've been playing with him for a long time, I gotta say that I am very surprised the knee joints are holding up still to this day. They are very, very tight on this figure. So here's a quick full 360 at him. As you can see, the weapon just came out of his hands, but he's not really that much kibbly in the back. I mean, that looks great. You can tell that's a nice thrusters. This is an amazing figure, and if you do not have this figure, might I recommend you get him, because this is one of those major hits in the RID line. It's not a mold that was used in the past. 3 trains combined into an awesome figure. Usually it takes like 5 trains, going by the Railbots, or those little micro transformer figures. I forget what they're called, but they were also re-released in the Universe series, which I do actually have Devastator, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, maybe we'll review him someday, but in the meantime, I'm just hooked on the real Transformers Robots in Disguise figures. You hear that, Prime? Not you. The series, not Optimus Prime. So yeah. I really don't have anything else to say, so Another thing that, well, actually there is one more thing. Yes, another thing that some people during their reviews have had with this figure is the fact that this piece right here would actually pop off. I have tried pulling this off many times, and still today I cannot prevail at that. It's stuck in place. I don't know what it is, but maybe this one isn't so bad like all the other ones. I'm not saying your reviews are bad, it's just the quality on your figures out there. Those who have reviewed this figure already, you know who I'm talking about, you know who you are, but you gotta be honest, they really weren't that great when it comes to showing off the stability on these figures. So, I mean, it's at a random pick. It's just a trust of luck whether or not you get a good one or a bad one. These could go on eBay for about 35 bucks per train. But if I were you, I'd make sure to get them whether they're brand new or if they're actually still complete. Make sure they are complete. Make sure that the figures are in great condition, because if they're not, chances are these knee joints are going to be the first thing to go. It hasn't happened on mine yet, but only time will actually tell. I mean, I do have plans in the future. Maybe a little RID love, stop motion maybe. Maybe I'm saying too much as it is, but here's one more thing I'm going to throw at you. Kind of a wrecking ball to the nuts. This is my final review of RedX reviews of Epic Proportions. If you guys didn't know, well now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Okay, there, I said it, alright? Eventually I was going to say that with every time I've been saying now you know. So if I'm stuttering, I'm just letting you know some important information. So don't be expecting much when it comes to reviews nowadays, because I will be continuing doing toy reviews of some kind of fashion, but it's just not going to be of this series anymore. This is the final review. This is review 180. I think I've done enough as it is when it comes to RedX reviews of Epic Proportions, but the next genre is going back to the way that I started out at the beginning of doing toy reviews, but I'm not going to go into detail about it now. There's going to be some twists here and there that's going to make it worth seeing, hopefully. So, yeah, I can't really say you can leave questions or comments down below because I'm shutting down this series as soon as I get done uploading this. And I'm really not going to have time to answer your questions anyway because I'm really busy with other projects at the moment. Hopefully some of them may come true to form sooner or later on this channel. But that's it, guys. I got nothing else to say, so unless Nicole's got something to say.
Nope.
Alright then. That's it, guys. We are done. So that is me. Actually, no. That's not the way I want to end this. If you've never seen me before, well, now you have. So that's me, RedX Power, and Nicole.
Yo.
We're signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. The other day I looked at Sonic, and I asked him, what is the best thing about waking up in the morning?
Is sponsored by BigBadToyStore.com, and tell them RedX and Nicole sent you.
In this room we have the RedX Review. Well, I guess this is where the real fun begins.